Well, we use him in all situations, so he's probably excelled in all of them. Second power play hasn't seen as much action, but 5-on-5 against good players. I think he's transitioning the puck well. He's doing a good job between the blue lines, making some plays. He'll carry it deep. So it's a full 200-foot game. I know it sounds cliche, but he plays 25 minutes, generally, like I said, against better players. His puck management's been excellent. I haven't noticed, can't remember any silly plays that came back at us. So I think that's a sign of maturity. So I guess just steadiness. It's been good, rock solid, steady. Everyone's going to get beat time to time out there. They've got guys that are attacking. So we just remind them, play from the middle of the ice out. And that's that. Try to make good decisions with the puck, read and react hockey. Charlie's one of those guys that is better off less scripted, but he's still got to stay within the structure of what we're trying to do. He's pretty good at just seeing things and then going from there. So we've allowed him to do that as much as possible. And he's making good decisions in that area. Well, I hope we have our sense of urgency. I'm sure they will. Considering the situation, you get along in a series. I think both teams have had it in this series. It's been hard fought. I thought our first 10 minutes of the third was excellent. Did what we had to do to stay ahead, to try to extend the lead. We kept pushing, and then, like I said, they came at us a little bit, and we were on our heels for a while, and then regained our sense of urgency, and were able to get the winning goal. So I expect it'll be a high level. Just considering the two teams, how they're made up, and where we are in the series.
Over here. Certainly not the first time you've seen a team go with 11 forwards and 7D, but when a team does that, matchup game obviously in the playoffs is pretty big usually, it seems like. How does that affect you, if they're double shifting, Panarin or one of their top players on different lines? Does that affect the matchup game at all, or no?
Not the forward lines, probably. The D, we're more matchup oriented with our D-core out against certain players, and obviously if he's out there every second shift, it could cause some issues, but at the end of the day, it allows assuming it's Panarin, right, is one of their leading scorers that's getting out there more often, is more dangerous, but we'll find other ways to try to take advantage of that. If he's fatigued, force him to play in his own end, force him to reload a lot, backtrack. So there's some things you can do to counter that if you can neutralize him, which is easier said than done. He's a good player, but we did a good job against him. Last goal was a good result, good example of that. Carlo did a great job, one-on-one, played him well, played him hard, actually won the puck, separated him from the puck, made a play, and we beat him up ice, so it worked out in our advantage, but that's just one play, so he's dangerous. We'll account for him, but we're not going to change everything we do on, kind of their lineup.
Bruce, they did play a defenseman in his first NHL game last game. Is that an opportunity for you guys that they have someone with that little experience on their back end?
Well, I would hope we're going to play the same way, and if he gets himself in situations under duress that we can expose him, but we really have no control over how the other team's players are going to play for the most part, other than take away time and space, be physical against them, those things. Once the puck drops, then it's on him to respond accordingly. So we don't talk about it specifically, hey, this guy, because I don't know the player and it's disrespectful, but yeah, any young player generally, if you can try to get them under pressure, see how they react. But we generally play the same way every night, or try to. Certainly circle certain guys, what they do well, their tendencies. We talked about Panarin, how he likes to hide seams. Duchesne, it's that nice spin move down low where he baits you in like Yager used to do, and he spins off you. So there's certain tendencies we look at. With him, we don't know him that well. I would play him the same way as other D. Hey, force him to make quick decisions and attack him.
Clifton won the offensive zone faceoff that he found himself, out there for. Any hesitancy there, or just kind of, you had him out there with Krug, and then what has he shown you to earn more trust? His minutes jumped from game 4 to 5, and obviously he rewarded your trust there, it looks like.
Well, it's easier to start if you're unsure of the player. Then it's always easier to start him in the offensive zone than your own zone if that's an issue. So I think he's been fine defensively. He got a little he got beat one-on-one where they got inside on, I think it was Foligno beat him because he lost his ice a little bit. I think it was early in the game. Other than that, I think he's defended pretty well with a good stick. So we trust him to play. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think you're going to go see him play 25 minutes tonight, but if he can give us anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, depending on special teams, etc., we're happy. Zone play was a heck of a play by him. Listen, he's a young guy that made a nice play for us. It was a big play in the game. Didn't freeze out there. There was a play to be made. They talked about the previous face-off, so he did it. It's a good sign. And what was the second part about? Well, yeah, he'll play the PK. I mean, when you have Miller and Moore out, those are guys that did it for us all year. When they're healthy, they're probably our second pair, right? You got Z and Carlo that usually go first, so we're without penalty killer number 3 and 4, so someone has to step up and do it. That's just what's in front of us this time of year. He's been up to the challenge.
I had a Clifton question too, but before that, is there any news on Miller at this point in terms of?
I have nothing. He won't. Obviously, he's out for this series. Noel won't play tonight either. It would be the same lineup for us.
And the Clifton question is, I remember in March you saying he was sort of the rare bird that you have to coach down. Is that still the case? You still have to kind of put a choke on him?
No, I think he's done a real good job with that. So now we're actually at times revving him up a little bit to be more assertive because of that play, mate. He's got it in him. He's a good hockey player with the puck. He can make some plays, and the guys that come up here a lot of times they're going to defer to their partner or not want to, Now we're going the other way with him. Okay, you've shown you can play. You're steady. Now, play to your strengths. If you see ice, take it. Get your feet moving. Be physical. He's done a good job being physical, like those counter hits, and he's not a huge guy, so I think he's surprised players. He's strong on his skates. So now with the puck, if he sees ice, take it. If that's what's there, get our offense from the back end. We'd love to get a little more of that. We've talked about that all year. I don't think we play that way, Kevin, where we're like some teams where it's just wagon hockey all night, but we do want our D to, if there's ice, make a play that's certainly something that's available to him. So we've reminded him of that. But I think he's done a good job. We've found a good balance with him.
Hi, Bruce.
Right on.
Just in your view, the impact Big Z has had on this series, and I was wondering also if you've had to manage his minutes any differently in the regular season, or from the regular season. If so, is he resistant to that reduction of time or role?
Absolutely. He'd play 30 minutes every night if he could. Prides himself. He's in great shape. At the end of the day, I think it's hard for any player to play that. Anything above 25 minutes is, you're probably conserving somewhere along the line. The impact in this series, I think he's been a great defender for us. He's always going to be a good penalty killer. He got tired on the one Duchesne goal early in the series that we broke down on the kill, but we always rely on him for that. Great leader in the room. He can calm young guys down. He's worked well with Charlie and Brandon Carlo. And do we manage his minutes from the regular season? We've tried to progressively get him over the last few years closer to 20. It's an arbitrary number some nights, but that's kind of what we've used simply for the long haul of the season. I think some nights he's played as little as 17 or 18, and we will get up to 25 sometimes. So we're always going to stay in the moment with it, but we don't want it to be a regular occurrence where he's up at 25, because I think like any player this time of year, it wears you down. So, but if tonight he goes out and he needs to play 28, that's the situation. If it's shut down hockey or we're taking a lot of penalties, then that's what he's going to play.